everyone. Welcome back to another video series. My name is Noah Elliott. I am the outreach coordinator here at Steamboat Stars Adaptive Recreational Sports. We are very enthusiastic about today's video session. We are here joined by Grit Freedom Chair and joined by Mike Halpert. Thanks again for taking the time to be here today, Mike.
Man, happy to be here. This is awesome. Happy to support. Happy to introduce some new stuff.
Yeah, it's absolutely awesome what you guys are doing. I got to watch a little bit about you guys on some videos I've seen, and it's super cool, and it's right in line with what we do. Here at Steamboat Stars, we are all about empowering the power of possible and helping get everyone access to adaptive recreation. So, again, thanks for doing what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to be here. Happy to answer questions you have. I think, as you said, and we have videos all over our site and YouTube and stuff, definitely encourage people to see the videos. As great as it is in talking about this, seeing what people can get out and do, that's what it's all about.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So with today and technology always advancing, and you take a look at adaptive sports and you start to notice things are always getting better and better. And it's giving more people the opportunity to get out and enjoy the wilderness and enjoy sports. What is the story behind the Grit Freedom Chair?
It's great. I think the really cool thing about this compared to a lot of things, this actually started as a student project. MIT here in Massachusetts, our team of engineers started there. And we were taking a wheelchair course, a very humbling thing of like studying the wheel and how it works and the power of that. But when they were looking at it, they're actually in East Africa. And compared to a lot of stuff here with accessibility, everything there is dirt. And so the terrain and nothing is flat. Everything has some kind of incline. So they wanted to look at that and said, okay, well, how can a wheelchair go over that? Well, the biggest thing with that is torque. When you're doing your wheelchair and you ever see anybody kind of going up an incline, they kind of will butterfly, just kind of doing that, trying to go up it.
Yeah.
That Michael Phelps kind of style. And then going downhill, you're kind of holding it like this and really right?
Yeah.
Or just flying and seeing what happens, right? But like those are two things, right? So one is, how do you get this without, right? You only get two shoulders, right? So like you gotta conserve that.
Yeah.
And your every day. This is how you get around. So they went to research with it, and I think the parts of there was, okay, what's the strongest part of the upper body? Okay, so we got the chest, the biceps, the triceps, the back. Let's try and use all of those. So like, okay, let's do a push. Well, why push and not pull? Well, if you do a pull, right? One, how do you brake? Mm-hmm. Right? And then two, like if someone doesn't have trunk support, they're kind of falling over.
Yeah.
Now they need a harness. Now they're doing all that stuff. And
sure.
People talk about the rowing motion, but the rowing motion, you're actually really using your legs and pushing off of that.
And pushing off. That makes sense. Yeah.
And you're not stopping when you're rowing because you just kind of cruise.
Yeah.
So this is using the upper body to do that and then pulling back to brake. So like, okay, let's do that. So now what? All right, well, now how do they actually get more leverage out of that? So what's really cool about here is Freedom Chair here, you can see the wheels moving. Mm-hmm. This is a lever into a bike chain.
Okay.
Drivetrain here that now you're pushing. It's actually propelling this. So this is connected to a bike chain, and that is what's propelling. And then to brake, they pull back.
That's awesome. That's actually really cool too, because that is something that's easy maintenance no matter where you are in the world.
And that's what's really cool. And we talked earlier about going to Colorado. We did a hike and we were in Estes Park and we stopped by a local bike shop for some maintenance on the chairs that we were traveling with. And just the guys at bike shops were just like, what?
Yeah, this is cool.
Because so many people in a wheelchair, they actually do go on quick maintenance. They'll definitely go for like quick air pumps, something like that, to a local bike shop. So like this guy was just like, oh my God, there's so many people who would want to use this and get out, especially in that state, right?
Definitely.
So the fact that like maintenance, and especially somebody who's had an injury, maybe they were a bicyclist or something like that before, so like their maintenance is like, it's them. Tire pressure, chain tension, that's it.
That's it.
So that's, the fact that the majority of the moving parts are bike parts, that makes life so much easier.
That does make, yeah. That's so cool. So, talking about this, this is obviously something that, one is giving people better access to different environments that they might not have thought possible. And then two, the maintenance is pretty simple on it. But let's narrow this down to what is a good candidate for this type of chair? Say, is it better for high-level injuries? Is it better for someone who's not a high level? Is it better for amputees? Like, kind of, what is the good candidate for this chair?
Who wants to get the outside? I mean, I think that's a thing. You know, who's a good candidate? That there's a lot of stuff with that. People think, you know, whatever video we show is not the right video for that person. So like our oldest riders in their 90s, our youngest rider is 5. So like we have a full spectrum.
Yeah,
right?
wide range.
We have amputees. We have bilateral amputees. We have riders with MS. We just have people with bad knees and bad backs. Obviously, spinal cord injury, right, from low to high. You know, obviously, when you get higher, you know, there's a lot of things of trunk control and grip strength. But like if you have active hands, and we have a pro back that has a curved back on this that someone can put a harness on, and like I mean, we've had some riders do some really long races.
Wow.
And stuff like that. So like with the handles here, I mean, you'll see this. I'm seated, and like it's moving really easily. So like even to have somebody's assistance is super, you know, helpful. And the fact that like if someone doesn't have a lot of control, or you know, something we don't talk about accessibility is sometimes like somebody with MS. So somebody with MS is like totally capable of walking sometimes, and sometimes MS knocks them out.
Sure.
So the fact that like if I'm barely pushing a lever and someone's assisting very much, like we're both doing it, and like we've accomplished that. Yeah. I think the thing is not even just on like what diagnosis or anything. I think the more thing is what activities. So some of our riders, obviously there's people who want to do hikes and trails. Okay. That's totally a thing. And there's definitely videos there. Some people just want to go to their kid's baseball game.
Right.
So
go on the grass.
Just go through grass. Yeah. So, you know, freedom is nice. It's in our name. It's really in the eyes of that rider, right? Mm-hmm. And I think you see it, but we have a Facebook group called Beyond the Pavement. Over 1,000 people from around the country and around the world. Different people are posting their own stories about them just getting out to kind of not inspire, just encourage of that, like, I'm doing this and you can't too. And I think that's a really cool thing because it's such a diverse setup of who is getting out and how are they getting out. And, you know, you and I talk, right? If you were to go hiking, you wouldn't go hiking by yourself, and neither would anybody in a freedom chair.
Yeah.
You know, so if you need assistance, you got it. Maintenance, just like you would go on like a 10-mile bike ride, you probably still have everything with you.
Yeah.
But it's basic maintenance that if anything happens on the trail, you're good.
Wow. That is so awesome. That is absolutely powerful stuff. And that's exactly what you just said. Like, beyond the pavement is the power of possible. And that's so cool. That is so cool. You know, what is this chair good for a beginner and an advanced? What does that look like on those two different playing fields? Like if I'm a beginner, maybe a newer injury, but looking to get a chair, is this chair something that you think a beginner should jump straight into? And is this something that you could see an advanced person taking it to the next level?
So I think that's a great one. I think people ask us all the time about demos. Mike, where can I demo the chair? I really want to try it. Do you have vendors? Mm-hmm. We don't. We work direct out of here, and what we actually do is our team here works with somebody to make sure they have the right accessories, they have the right size, ship it out to them. And what we actually really do is different than anything else, we actually have a 30-day guarantee. So we want somebody to use the chair for 30 days, which means your first 5 days are the beginner days. I don't care how advanced you are.
Yeah.
This is new equipment.
Yeah.
You know, if somebody has used adaptive equipment or they're in an everyday chair, it's hard to go back to remember your first 5 days in equipment. Your first 5 days, you're just like, how do I turn?
Right. How does this work?
How does this work? Like, how do I transfer?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a really powerful thing. And if it's not the right setup for you after those 30 days, you ship it back to us. But like, that's the way for someone to know if it works for them or not.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, you asked about the advance. We have one rider, he's 300 pounds, and he's done over 1,000 miles in his first year.
Wow.
1,000 miles. He lives in Florida. It's flat. But he did 1,000 miles.
Yeah.
Do you think he was going to do that when he first bought the chair?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, and he definitely didn't. I mean, he got into the community and did that. You know, we are the official chair of Spartan Race. So we do have people going and do obstacle course races, which is awesome because all you're using the chair to do is go from obstacle to obstacle, which is 3 to 5 miles.
Yeah.
Like you do obstacles.
Mm-hmm.
But you're able to get through that different terrain. Spending time with your kids. I mean, so many people talk about using this for exercise, and exercise can be every level. A lot of our riders have these on rollers in their apartments and houses during COVID.
Mhm.
So getting out and getting exercise, staying inside and getting exercise, spending time with your kids. I mean, one of our riders, Nate in Pennsylvania, like he's tugging, like like sleds, like the discus sleds. He literally tied 3 ropes together, the 3 kids, and he's literally dragging his kids around on the ice.
Oh, wow.
I think being a dad, being a mom, being a grandparent, being with kids and being outside, you're getting a speed on this on pavement, like similar to like someone jogging. So like, bicycling with your kids, bicycling with little ones is great. Going out on trails, going out, you talked about before, beyond the pavement, just anything not flat.
Yeah.
I think is, I'm having this on a plush carpet right here that's going through, like, not flat.
Yeah. And it's a complete game changer for people because of that.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And I think especially with the trail handles, somebody can provide assistance. That is huge.
Mm.
I said the word assistance, not doing it for them.
Yeah.
Right. So like when they did the day, they're tired. They earn the beer. They earn the Gatorade. They earn the view.
Yeah.
They earn getting to the waterfall. All those things.
And those are all great things to highlight. Actually, it made me think of a friend I have. Her name's Quinn, and she has MS, and she's out in California. And she's a surfer, but she's always talking to me about coming out to Colorado and doing some hikes. And this is something that I think could give her that opportunity to access the trails and be able to go out with her and maybe give her assistance if she needs it, but be able to get to the top and show her that she can do this. It's definitely been a goal of hers.
Yeah, and I think that's a really cool thing. I think the MS community, I think that's just been such a powerful group of riders over the years for us, because it's something that, like, it's a mobility they used to have and slowly went away. And sometimes you have great days and sometimes you have terrible days.
Yeah.
So kind of finding a path, finding access is huge.
Yeah. And I love how you guys talked about giving people an opportunity to have the chair and the learning curve and that window of being like, this is new equipment. I'm an amputee myself, so I'm missing my left leg above the knee. And I know with prosthetics, it can be tricky as well, because, you get one and you're like, how do I do this? This is different. And then you get one and you kind of get a little bit through that few day phase. And then the next thing you know, you see it taking you to the next level. And we had discussed, before this series, before we hopped on the video, you guys have finance options.
Yeah, we do. I'm trying to tell you, man. I mean, and you know it, you feel the passion, you hear passion in my voice. I mean, we really try our best to help. So we work with every individual case. I mean, honestly, what's really, really cool, some churches have really helped, communities, GoFundMes have helped, because funding this is way different than like your medical bills or anything like that. Because, if we're talking about Quinn, it's like wouldn't you help Quinn get outside? Mm-hmm. Because like you get to participate in that activity.
Yeah.
But we do have payment plans. We have our own. We work with a firm, which is a pretty popular online program for it. We also work with state loan programs. If need be, we try and find every single person's different avenue on how to fund this, because we know everyone's different.
Yeah.
So we take that. You've heard me talk about our riders. We know our riders and we know our community, because we're very involved in that.
And that's the coolest part, is you guys are so involved, and you guys are given the opportunity to help so many people and give them options on how to get involved. That's the coolest part.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I think a really cool thing, that the biggest success, I think, to having a new rider, we talk about this first 5 or 10 days, is our 2 groups. We have a private rider group, obviously people own, but Beyond the Pavement is such a cool one, because people are able to feel encouraged before they even get their chair shipped to them.
Yeah.
You're waiting those 2 to 6 weeks for that chair to come from here to them. They're so excited, and they know that they have that support. And you know that when you get a new adaptive equipment, you're just like, how do I use this? Who do I ask?
Yeah, all excited.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. And I did some research again, like I was saying, and it even showed some different things on YouTube with you guys talking about just the overall better efficiency that you get with this more natural motion than you do with kind of, we were talking about earlier, that Michael Phelps kind of movement. You definitely become a little more efficient with this also.
Yeah, and people will talk about that, and people will ask, right? So, people ask, well, how do you go up inclines and stuff like that? And what's really cool is that it's right here with torque. So, like, I'm going up an incline, I'm going to punch right here like a boxer, and I'm
Yeah.
going to keep going, but right here, I'm going to go full speed, be right close to this and going. And I think, that's what's so cool is that we made this so simple. This is the movement and pulling back to brake.
Hmm.
So we made this really easy for an end user,
Yeah.
like engineering on our side, but very simple for somebody at the end user side that like there's not a lot of issues that they could run into.
Yeah, and those bars are removable too, aren't they?
Yeah, so if someone needs, so you can see I'm not going in reverse
Uh-huh.
because if I'm on an incline, the last thing I want to do is
Go back.
go backwards. So if I push the levers forward, take them out,
Mm.
now it's my manual chair. So whether I'm like going up to my seat at the restaurant, going into an ADA bathroom, or just going through the dog park, right? Like those tight gates of the dog park, I need to go
Yeah.
through it. Much easier to maneuver as a manual chair.
Yeah.
Um, that's what makes, and it's right not difficult for me to put this right back in.
Just snap it right back in, and you're ready to go.
That's it.
Easy enough. Man, Mike, thank you so much for your time and enthusiasm and what you guys are doing. It's so amazing. I look forward to hopefully having you come out here and maybe being able to see one of these chairs in person and maybe even getting Quinn out up on a trail.
That sounds great. Happy to be that. Can't wait to get out to Colorado once I can.
I appreciate it. If people are looking to find more information, where can they find more information about Grit Freedom Chair?
Yeah, so our website is gogrit.us, gogrit.us. I think the other great thing is on Facebook, Beyond the Pavement by Grit. Either of those two things would be great. You can also just Google all-terrain wheelchair, and that should get to us. I have a bunch of accessories around me. You can see kind of the wider tires. We call them the beachies, the sand and snow tires.
Yeah.
We're happy to help anybody ask some questions. Ask the questions. We'll try our best to answer them.
Yeah.
And go at it from there.
That's awesome. Well, thank you again, Mike.
Yeah, I think the last thing I'll do, you guys have any questions, call me. 877-345-4748. Talk with you just like I'm talking with this young man right here. We'll get it going.
Perfect. Thank you guys all for tuning in. This has been a great episode, and I hope it's given you some new information to look after and maybe even a good resource to get after and maybe get yourself a chair. So thank you guys all for tuning in, and go Grit.
Thanks, y'all.
Hey everyone, I hope you guys found some of this information useful, and as always, if you have any questions, feel free to email us at the link below at info@steamboatstars.com, and we'll see you next week, same place, same time, same stoke.